Hey everybody, we're doing our daily recap today. We know what happened yesterday. We know I was not happy about yesterday. Today, I'm not overly excited about what happened either. Could have been a better day. I gave back some profits. I was definitely gripping the stick too tight, as I like to say, uh, meaning when you're in Canada, we play hockey, right? So when you're trying to score too much by gripping the hockey stick and you're trying so hard, you grip it so tight, you don't have that loosiness that you need to be able to flick the wrist and put it in the direction that you want. So that's what I mean by when I say gripping the stick too tight, because obviously I knew yesterday was a frustrating day that required me to take a significant loss. And the natural reaction is that you want to make that back as quick as possible. And so I feel like I had that in the back of my head. I am happy with the green day today, but and I don't know why it's showing 103,000 share traded, because that wasn't the case. Definitely did trade a little bit more than I would have liked, and I probably should have ended my day a little bit sooner. I was up around 550 on the day and gave some profits back, and my commissions would have been lower. But like I said, I was probably gripping the stick too tight. Nonetheless, we finished with a green day, and I think what I'm going to do for tomorrow and for next week, I'm really looking forward to next week, given that it is 2021. And I don't think things are going to magically get better in terms of the global environment, in just because it's 2021. However, I am looking forward to renewing my trading regimen, and being in this place where we don't have so many distractions with the holidays and maybe less volume and everything else. So next week we can start anew, and hopefully there's some stronger follow through with some of these moves. So with that said, what I'm looking at is about a $500 green day per day. That's what I'm trying to target, and if I can get five of those, five more of those, and essentially I'll recoup what the losses were from that yesterday. And when you look at it that way, it's not terrible, right? I could potentially accomplish that within a week, right? So, you know, is it frustrating? Yes. Does it suck? Yes. But at the end of the day, understanding that I have another opportunity and my account is still up, um, you know, 100% at this point, and I have taken some money out, and there's still a lot of positives there. But clearly, yesterday was a setback, and it's frustrating. But the goal is to take it day by day. Now, today, what I looked at in particular, I probably should have just stuck to some of the names that were going well. I'm going to stick with the one that really kind of was frustrating me. Start with the one that was frustrating me, and that was Net Element, NETE here. Um, it had popped up pre-market, made a nice move, held up okay pre-market, but then started to faded down and found support at $14 here, and then started to come back up. I didn't have this on my opening watch list, but it had on the back burner. If it held up, I was going to say, okay, obviously it's up a significant amount. It's got some range, so it might be an opportunity. Anyways, so I ended up getting long for the break of $16 here, and it just didn't want to follow through with the momentum that I was looking for. Did get some volume, but it faded pretty fast, and then I got caught on this drop here, but not to the full extent. I had a stop loss just under 16. So that was a losing trade. And then I tried to trade it again a couple more times. This would have been the best entry here for 16 over 16, and it ran up. I did say that I thought it was going to retest high day when it pulled up here, pulled back, held above the VWAP, started pushing higher again. I tried to trade it again, but the problem with this stock was that there was so much range on it, and the spreads had opened up a little bit here and there. It would tighten and open up again. It was hard to manage the trades, and it was not a ticker that I felt like I could manage my risk really well. It would pull. It would. I'm a breakout trader. I've talked about, so this one would break out through a significant level, or what you would think would be a significant level at, say, $16, and it would only push through 10 cents, and then it would drop 20 cents. And that kind of trading is not those type of tickers don't really treat me very well. As the more I trade, the more I get more aware of seeing them as they're occurring. Because when you just look at the chart, you often won't see that, but the price action in level 2 will tell you those things. That okay, yeah, it's a breakout, but it needs to pull back again, and breakout and pull back again. So this is more of a buy the dip kind of stock, and that's not my strength. I usually buy a breakout point and then sell into the strength, not buy on weakness and then sell the strength. So that was kind of the ticker that you needed to trade that way. And it was frustrating for me. And like I said, that's where I gave back some of my profits. The ones that were working well today. And I overall, I was happy with my assessment of names. I had the JMIA, I had this set on a weekly alert. And so I had an alert set for here that if it started to push up, we would see that it was going to be a daily breakout, right? Because it had pulled back, started to move sideways. And then, so if it broke out over this range from yesterday, then it could make a decent move. So we see that in the opening bell, it started to push up and it made a move higher. Then it made a nice bull flag pattern through here on the pullback, right? It held, tapped the EMA and the VWAP, and then started to push higher after it broke above 42.50. And then it pushed right up all the way to $44. So I saw that read well, and that was one that I did trade. And then it double topped here. So this will be something that we can watch for tomorrow, is a breakout over 44 will probably produce a similar move. Now, what else did we trade? BLNK. This is one that's been on the radar quite often, and because it does have significant range in its movements. Let's pull back here and then a base sideways on support as well. Similar pattern to what we just looked at with JMIA. And so I started to see it curling and caught my attention a bit. And like I said, I know this is a good mover. So I was watching this over the pre-market highs here. And it broke out over the pre-market highs and made a significant push all the way up to $46.28 from $44. Nice move there. I'm noticing with this stock, breakouts are pretty strong a lot of the time. Once they get going, they really start to move. So I should probably be in tune with that a little more, and maybe potentially hold my position a bit or take out half and hold that position a longer time period. But this one has produced some solid breakouts. And then we have the channel that this started to form. Oops, it's not what I wanted. But we see this channel, right? And this is where our support line comes into play. Over here, right? And this is the kind of the channel that we were looking at, and then we broke that channel, and that was essentially the end of the up move. But this is something I was watching for. If it was going to hold the view app, then I'd probably take a long here, right? But it didn't. It broke down, and that was it for the day. But again, this is something that we can watch tomorrow for a move over 47. And this is something that might potentially end up being a swing opportunity. And then another one I traded today is one that we know and I've referenced frequently is AI. This one, a lot of range. I was swinging it actually from yesterday from 138.50. And so I did make some profit on this on a swing. Opened up, went to 148. I took some profit up there. And then I ended up taking a little more midway through, and I actually got stopped out here, which is really frustrating because I set my stop for 141.49, and it just dipped below that for that one candle, and then it never touched that again. And so I potentially could be still holding my swing, the rest of my swing, my remaining position. I mean, it was still a profit stop, but to see it head back up towards 150 again, obviously that's a little frustrating. But it's something, again, I think this is, now we're seeing this, you see this pattern here of it's made its move upward, it's pulled back, base sideways, and now it's starting to move up again. So this might be something that I swing a couple of times, add back to, so we'll see. Anyway, so you can see that today was an okay day, but nothing spectacular. Obviously, feels like a drop in the bucket versus yesterday. But it's 10%. So day by day, 10% each day, 10 days, right? and that's all you can do at this point. There's no ability to change the past. You can just move forward from it and learn from it, and maybe I shouldn't have traded that kind of ticker that was so volatile. And NETE, the one I looked at today, was kind of similar, but the float is not the same, and it didn't halt at all. So you know the risk was lower, and the frustrating thing was there were tickers that came up today that look very similar to yesterday. You look at this stock, right? This is INDO. And I want to just reference this relative to yesterday. INDO was trading at $4.65. Okay. Pushed up all the way up through here to 15.77. So we've got 400% increase, right? Again, there was no T2 halt, anything that was material information that was missing or anything, but there were multiple halts on this, volatility halts. But look at them: 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5-minute halt, 5-minute halt, 5-minute halt. These are major price swings, right? From here to $11 down to here is $8. So it's a volatility halt. So why is that taking place? And then there's so many halts and so much volatility, but from what I understand, there was no material news. And why is it that the stock that I was trading yesterday was halted, and halted for over an hour at that, after the news had already came out that there was no news. So as far as I can see, there's no news on this. And so it's just moving off of a pump or a technical breakout or whatever it might be. This has been trading at $5 for months and months and months, but then it pops 400% and there's no news, and then there's no halt today. So why did they decide to halt yesterday, right? Normally, if you're going to get that halt on information, you're expecting them to actually release information. So that's what makes this so frustrating, is that it seems completely random as to why the stock that I was trading halted. Now, maybe there's more reasons behind the scenes that I don't know about, and there probably is. But as from what I can see and doing the strategy that I do, and trading within my means, I can't see any logical reason, meaning I can't combat that, and it's out of my control. So this would have been one where it could have happened in a similar fashion. Now, maybe if this had a halted going up, then I could see them pulling that aspect of, let's get the information for why this is running. But the halt that they halted for an hour and a half for yesterday was on a halt going down. So it's like the stock and ticker had already started pulling back, and then they halted it for an hour and a half. So clearly I'm still upset about that, but I'm just trying to break down for you guys that sometimes things happen in the market that are out of your control and that are extremely frustrating, and there's nothing you can do about it except come back the next day and try to trade better. So that's it for today. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I thought that the market was closing at 1, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be open the entire day tomorrow. I have to double check that, but I'm about 90% sure that it's going to be open the full day. Doesn't mean that the volume won't be lighter. It doesn't mean that there will be any opportunities, but I'll be here trading tomorrow and see how it goes. And then, the following week is 2021, as we talked about. So we'll start a new year then, and one day left in 2020 of trading.